Hello, everybody. I am beginning the live. Just give me 1 second. Hi, everybody. This is Regina. Namaste. I'm here from Makin Wellness team. I'm actually a master's level intern here at Makin Wellness. This is my first ever live, so I'm trying to figure out how to see comments. I see that we are 5 people so far. Let me check. Go in there. All right. I'm going to try to see comments and so forth and reply them as they come. Today we are going to talk about mindfulness practices. But before we go ahead and start the discussion or conversation, we're going to give us a little bit of time. Can anybody hear me well? Okay. All right. I hope everybody's morning is going well. I'm assuming some of us we are at work already, some of us we are at home and about to start work. But I hope everybody's morning is peaceful. I'm sorry for the contrast on the window. Okay, I guess this is much better. All right. Let us give us some more time and we'll start in a few minutes. I'm actually trying to figure out how to see the comments here. Oh, okay, now I can see. Thank you, Jam. All right. How's the weather there? Here in Pittsburgh, it is kind of gloomy weather, but it is okay. Yeah. Let's give us one more minute before we start with the topic. All right. Let me pull up everything I need to talk about. Okay. For some of us that we are already here, can you tell me what mindfulness practice is for you? I'm going to give us a little bit of time to answer this question. Let me check the comments. I guess I can start by saying for me, mindfulness means taking a mental pause. That mental pause we all need throughout our day, throughout our week, because nowadays we are so, moving ahead with our life that we sometimes forget to give us that pause that we need to check in within ourselves, to feel what we are feeling, to learn what's going on with us internally. So yeah, it is really important to be able to have that time for ourselves, um, for our mental well-being and also physical well-being. So I'm actually going to start the topic. Um, Mindfulness is the practice of purposely focusing your attention on the present moment and accepting the present moment without any judgment. The without any judgment part is very important because we can easily criticize ourselves for things that we did in the past or for decisions that we are about to make and so forth. Being able to um, not being judgmental about our thoughts, about our negative or positive thoughts is very important. Um, there are actually 7 keys attitudes of mindfulness. Whenever we are practicing it, we need to focus on those 7 key attitudes, and they were developed by Professor Kabat-Zinn. A little bit of background of Professor Kabat-Zinn. He is actually a founder and former director of the Stress Reduction Clinic at the University of Massachusetts Medical Center, and he helped to bring the practice of mindfulness meditation into mainstream medicine and demonstrated that practicing mindfulness can bring improvements in both physical and psychological symptoms as well as positive changes in health, attitudes, and behavior. In fact, mindfulness is now being examined scientifically and has been found to be a key element in stress reduction and overall happiness. So those 7 key factors, key attitudes Kabat-Zinn developed are called non-judgment, patience, beginner's mind, trust, non-striving, and acceptance. When we are practicing mindfulness, it is important to be non-judgmental, as I touched earlier on. In fact, being non-judgmental, it help us to witness our own experience, become aware of the constant stream of judging and reacting to inner and outer experience, right? Patience actually is a form of wisdom. So it demonstrates that we accept the fact that sometimes things unfold in their own times. And when we are doing mindfulness meditation, we must allow for that patience towards ourselves. We need to be on the beginner's mind. In fact, beginner mind help us remaining open and curious about us to be receptive to new possibilities and prevents us from getting stuck in the root of our own expertise. We need to develop trust, towards ourselves and our feelings. Sometime when we are starting to practice mindfulness, some negative intrusive thoughts might come in our mind. We need to be able to be aware of how they come in, what they are, how they are making us feel, and tell us to ourselves it's okay. It's okay for those thoughts to come, and then watch them flow as the river is flowing, right? Flow off of our mind as the river is flowing. We need to be non striving. The goal is to be with ourselves right here, right now. Therefore, we need to pay attention to what is unfolding without trying to change anything, right? And finally, we need to be able to accept when we are practicing mindfulness. We need to be able to see things as they are. And this sets the stage for acting appropriately in our life no matter what is happening. So, mindfulness practically is, focusing on our breath, uh, focusing on what is coming and what they are making us feel, and letting go of those feelings, and being self aware of what is happening within us while they are coming and while they are leaving our mind. So, when we pay attention to our inner experience, we discover there are certain thoughts, emotion, and situation in our mind that we hold on to. So our main goal would be to not hold on to them, at least for the time being of when we're practicing mindfulness. And more we practice, maybe later on we'll be actually be able to completely accept the things that are happening around us, unconsciously, right? So mindfulness is really important. So before we dive deep into mindfulness practices, I believe that it is important to learn about where it comes from, where the mindfulness comes from. Mindfulness has root in Buddhism, right? But I believe that in most religion, we have some type of prayers or meditation technique that helps us shift our thoughts away from our usual preoccupation towards an appreciation of the moment and a larger perspective on life. So it is important to be mindful of that. Yes, it comes from Buddhism, but it doesn't mean that it is a religious practice only. This can be, it's just a meditation that everybody can practice, um, without fully being involved in a religion. Yes, so what does mindfulness help us with? Mindfulness improves well being. Um, it increases our capacity for mindfulness support, many attitudes that contributes to a satisfied life. Being mindful makes it easier to savor the pleasure in life as they occur. It helps us become fully engaged in activities and creates a greater capacity to deal with adverse events. Mindfulness also improves physical health. In fact, scientists have discovered that mindfulness techniques help improve physical health in a number of ways. It helps relieve stress, treat heart disease, lower blood pressure, reduce chronic pain, improve sleeps, and alleviate even gastrointestinal difficulties. Um, so it slows down an ordinary common activity. It is about slowing down an ordinary common activity and paying attention to a small experience that make up to it. How can we, include mindfulness practice in our daily life? We can do mindfulness practice while we are walking, while we are eating. Um, we need to be able to give us ourselves a pocket of time, um, which throughout our day where we can include mindfulness, even at work, right? So we can give us at least 5 or 10 minutes, you know every 2 or 3 hours, to check in within ourselves. We can start by deep breathing, breathing in and out and focusing on the rhythm of this breathing, um, how it is making us feel, what we are feeling at that moment, um, and accepting that feeling and letting go of that feeling without intervening on them. Because sometimes our mind is automatically wired to kind of, find out solution for things that are happening. But taking this pause means to kind of just look at the things that are, as they are coming, and then um, observing as they are leaving us as well. So, um, so mindfulness can be done in any time, while walking, while driving, while eating, um, while even just sitting down. But it is very important that we are at a quiet place. I'm actually going back to the driving part. Maybe some of us are, wondering how come we, practice mindfulness while we're driving. It is possible to practice mindfulness while we are driving, because, we are focusing on the road. We are, focusing on the, the steering wheel. We are focusing on the breath. We are focusing on how the driving itself is feeling. We are giving us that pause, instead of just thinking about, okay, what's going to happen right after I go to work, or right after I go to this place, or without thinking, oh, what happened before we left from our house. We are just taking that period of time to be present at that moment with the activity that we are doing at that moment. Um, and it helps us reduce our stress, mental burnout. It actually helps us with our anxiety, depression, and so forth. So I'm actually going to check so far if I have any comments that I need to. Um, yeah. Okay. Yes. So mindfulness is being at the present moment. Yes. And yes, Devin, non-judgment is one of the best part. I agree. Yes, that's true. Um, so here, I guess I'm just looking at by being mindful of the time, and going to close up the live. But before I do that, though, I wanted to, tell you all that here at Making Wellness, we have an excellent team of therapists who have diverse background in mental health field. Um, we are all experts on client care. In fact, our core values are excellent client care, do it now, growth, collaboration, strength of character. You can call us on 833-274-HEAL, or visit our website on www.makinwellness.com to schedule an appointment with us. And we are here to help you in best possible way, catering on your needs. We are client centered, and all of our therapists are, in do not only practice one type of do not only take one type of therapeutic approach. We all kind of include different type of therapeutic approach, and we include mindfulness in our practice as well. So, say that I'm going to end the live, and I hope you all have a good day and good week, rest of the week. Take care.